We are back. This is Elevated Vibes right here on IntellectualRadio.com, our iHeart radio station. All right, y'all, to jump in this conversation, 708-223-8953. Once again, that is 708-223-8953, or you can hit us on Facebook Live. Along with me, I got the greats, everybody. All right, the absolute greats, Mr. Bossman Mike B.
What up? Happy to be back in the co-pilot seat. We got a full cabin for you tonight.
Yes,
We so
sir.
good tonight. We got echoes up in this place.
Without a doubt, baby. Without a doubt. I got E from the D, baby.
Hey, how y'all doing? Nice to be back. For me, first show of the new year, so I'm glad to be back with you guys.
Exactly. And Mr. Timothy Evans.
All right, Facebook.
All right, y'all. Look.
Speaking of the Evans, damn. I'm sorry. I just,
I feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all can feel that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. After all of that is happening.
Yeah, ice raid up in here pretty soon, man.
Hey.
Folks, I'm starting to really believe, and I'm even saying it to you, gentlemen, that history does repeat itself.
Yes, it does.
It actually does, because to allow this individual to do what they are doing,
What are you doing?
destroying the little bit that we have, the little bit by bit by bit. Today we're going to speak on the death and destruction of DEI and what can we do to hopefully fix some of it. Talk to me, Mr. Evans.
All right, well, so earlier this week, Donald Trump, he signed some
Executive orders.
Yeah, he signed some executive orders, and he got rid of some DEI programs that are very significant for people. He got rid of Meals on Wheels. He got rid of a lot of the programs that were with that were associated with federal employees, right?
Well, a lot of the executive order that he just signed that you're speaking about is the one that deals with budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent out a 2-page budget. And I don't believe it was him, but some college student on his staff sent out a budget memo saying that you're to pause all budgeting programs to anything that is not in line with my previously issued executive orders, including those dealing with the Green New Deal, DEI, and I forget what some other qualification. And so all of the agencies got this memo and paused all budgeting because nobody knew how to interpret it, and
that may have been a move of Stephen Miller, one of his little cohorts. And he has a habit, a way of, even though Trump loves that chaos, he helps create that chaos. He thinks of the chaos to throw out there, and he's done a lot of different things such as that.
I don't know, but the way the memo, you would think a better crafted memo would be coming from the president of the United States. And the only reason such a thing would ever happen is because you don't recognize the breadth and depth of the programs that the government is involved in, Right. And so he did this, and now they want to blame this all on a glitch in the computer system when people are not getting their Medicare, when people are not getting their food stamps, when veterans are not getting suicide assistance, when veterans are not getting their housing, when domestic violence shelter programs are not receiving their money. When these programs, and you got to remember, the federal government is the primer of the pump. This is, and whether you receive the money directly or indirectly, through subsidiaries, when you pause the pump, right, and you go to pump and all you're getting is air, well, that's what happens,
So you're saying that instead of taking it piece by piece, he just did a blanket. He did a blanket kind of disruption because. sorry.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it in another way. Maybe he is seeing what he can get away with and trying to do the easy things first, try to send it through the court and see what he can get away with right up at the start, right?
Well, I think both are both true. I
Okay.
think he is the man literally said it would take too much time to go through and figure out individual by individual which one of the January 6 people I should pardon. Right?
Yeah.
He did a blanket pardon.
Mhm.
Now you're talking about people who have been convicted of attacks on police officers. You are talking about the most serious of which were convicted of the highest thing that you can do in the United States, which is treason. Right? And amounting an insurrection against the United States government. Now, I kind of remember from 4th grade social studies, those were pretty serious crimes. You know, when we talk about high crimes and misdemeanors, I think that's what they were talking about. You served, y'all served in the military, right?
Yeah.
Like, when they talk about, like, treason is a pretty serious crime in the military, right?
Yeah.
Providing aid to both, to the enemy. That's I don't know, because I'm not military.
Yeah,
I'm just assuming. I'm assuming facts.
Yeah.
Providing aid and comfort to your enemy, such as sending over stuff to Putin, is a pretty serious crime, right?
Right.
And so, to your point, Tim, yeah, but also to your point, this is a new thing. Governments used to say, how can we comply with the law and then do it? This is a reverse in psychology. No, we're going to do it and see what the court says.
Mhm.
Yep.
And the problem with that is you never have enough money to defeat the government. So I'm going to charge you and I'm going to see what we can get away with. Proof in fact, we just had a case here with ICE where they arrested a person who they said was convicted of a felony. Well, turns out, he came over and asked for asylum. So one, he did that. So yes, he may have done it illegally, but he was still here on asylum, right? So technically, he's not violating. Yes, while he was here on asylum, he got picked up for retail shop theft under $300, right? But he's still waiting sentence on. He hasn't entered a plea. He hasn't done anything on that. So ICE picked up a person who was lawfully in this country.
The former Venezuelan
cop,
right,
who has not even entered a plea and was picked up and had to spend 48 hours in detention until a federal judge ordered his release, right?
Which they turned right back around and rearrested him again.
And when they just let him out,
and he just got put back in prison in Indiana in an ICE prison.
And that's
wow.
and he's set up for deportation.
Right. And here let's just gameplay it. What we as people of color know, what they are willing to do to the least among us, they are also going to be willing to do to you. And that's the problem with the FAFO mentality. And if y'all don't know what FAFO stands for, well, you'll figure out real quick. just hang around long enough. So
yeah, you will.
So the problem is you dragging me along for this ride that I didn't agree with.
Right.
Yep.
And so that's what they're finding out. And a lot, I hate to say it, but some of our brown brothers finding it out the hard way.
Right. And then even touching on that, with that DEI, they're using, we're going to change this into a merit-based opportunity. Said by your new director of the Department of Defense and a few other people.
Secretary of Defense.
Whatever he is.
The one they said that was not only was he unqualified, he was uniquely unqualified.
Yes.
How are you uniquely unqualified?
I mean, wait, they done told this man because he could not run a group of 100 people. How are you going to run a group of, what is it, over 3 million?
No. $2 million budget. He ran into the ground.
Oh yeah, that part I know. That part I
doesn't
know.
represent
That part I know.
1% of the Department of Defense.
But I'm just talking about the amount of people who are within the Department of Defense compared to the place that he ran.
Oh, it ain't the
which,
people. That ain't
you
the
know.
problem. It's the budget. My man had
He
a $2
can't
million
run people,
budget.
bro.
Oh, well, first of all, when someone tells you that he spends more time inebriated than he does sober, and let's not forget,
Yes.
let's not forget, I don't want to be cited for, getting sued, but allegedly his own mama came out and was like, not my baby.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing.
Allegedly.
I just,
Allegedly
It's a letter. It's a letter that can be
letter.
found. Yeah.
This is the person who allegedly gave birth to you.
Man,
Your last line of defense, the one that we hear soldiers cry out for when they are injured in battle. I want my mother.
Yep.
This woman put pen to paper.
Yeah.
Pen. When's the last time you picked up a pen? And I know we laughing, but you gotta keep laughing from crying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Your beloved mother picked up pen to paper and said, "Not my baby."
You know what? And this is funny. Like, well, not the situation's funny, but it's nice being able to be here talking with you guys about it, because I agree with all of you. And I think part of it was just that you have, I think it's scare tactics on top of him trying to say, yeah, my base, I did say I was going to do some of this stuff in addition to, the DEI. So I'm just going to do it. I'm doing this. You can see that I'm doing it right now, even though some of those programs might include what you need, but a lot of y'all aren't smart enough to know that. So I'm still doing it. We've had this conversation for years with the whole DEI thing. And I know all you guys know this, but to put a little bit of context in it, we've had the same, it's with these people, I think it's the same playbook. They just changed the wording just a little bit. Okay. Because you remember we've had this conversation about affirmative action.
Right.
And people that weren't recipients of it didn't know what it was about. To them, it was, oh, okay, yeah. So if you would talk to, let's say, your average white American citizen around that time, right? You talk to them about affirmative action. People that I known, as a matter of fact, thought it was just a gimme for Black people. So basically saying that, hey, oh, you're an affirmative action hire, I mean, you're underqualified, blah, 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 yada, yada. Mm-hmm. There's no gimme. Like, say, for example, like if you're going to college, right? You still, a lot of these universities did not allow Black students to go to the colleges, which is why you had HBCUs. And so for you to sit there and say, okay,
they're racist.
Exactly. They're racist. So that's how that started. Okay, we have HBCUs for these students to go to. Affirmative action was, okay, we're going to make room for you to go into this school, regardless of everything that's going on with them not wanting you to be there because they are racist. You still have to take the same test, the same entry level exams as anyone else. It's not, you're not a random person they're picking. Oh, we need a random Black dude to go to, this university. Here, you come on, But that's what a lot of people thought, that weren't Black. Oh, it's just a gimme for you guys because you're not capable or qualified to go to that school or do this job. Now, fast forward, we had the same thing with CRT, right? So this is what we had now with CRT. CRT is being taught in schools to elementary children, blah, blah, blah. They don't need to know this. White kids are feeling bad about the past. We can't have that anymore. There's no CRT in elementary or middle school. That was a college level course, right? And I think it was an elective.
It's an elective.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes, it is. Yes,
so
it is.
How are you bringing? So if there's no CRT in elementary or middle schools, what are you conflating to? What are you comparing that to in those schools, which is Black history? So now there's no CRT, but you're saying, hey, Black history is the same thing. So we got to get rid of Black history classes. Okay, here we go again. Fast forward again a few years. Now we get to the whole woke thing. Now woke is the new, if it includes anything Black,
yes,
it's woke. Now, you all know what woke you meant back in the day. Hey, say woke, brother. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
they took
Exactly.
that.
Not even woke. It came out of the BMLA movement.
Mm-hmm.
Wokeness was this idea that we now need to be cognizant of our contextual, our history, and to be more cognizant and empathetic to those who have generally been denied a say in the context of the United States. That was woke meant. That woke means like a raising of the consciousness.
Now, do you see how it got turned into?
Okay, it got subservient.
Yeah. If I'm like, so if you're a movie buff, right? And perfect example, Lord of the Rings. We also Lord of the Rings when it first came out, right? The trilogy, whatever.
Right.
Very few black characters in there, right?
Of course.
Okay. Now, when the show came out on Amazon, The Rings of Power, and they started saying this is a fantastical world, so we're gonna have some black elves and stuff. All of a sudden, it was woke, and then anything that had a woke character or had a black character in it was woke. I.e. the Ironheart series coming out on Marvel,
the Mermaid.
Oh man,
yes,
the Mermaid,
an animated movie about a fictional character that does not exist in real life, and Santa Claus.
Right.
Santa Claus.
Halle Bailey, who's an amazing actress, amazing singer, is playing a fictional character. And the woman that did the voice of Ariel back, I think that movie came out in the 80s, right? And I can't remember her name, but she voiced Ariel around that time.
Right.
She said, hey, this girl, she's very talented. She has a beautiful singing voice. She'll be perfect for the role. That wasn't good enough. You still had people say, well, mermaids can't be black. It's a fictional character. It doesn't matter. Kids did not care. Adults cared. Yes. And then you fast forward again to now we're at where we're at now.
Right. And then they used all of that plus saying that we're going to make this a merit-based opportunity, which that's the same thing that they used when they abolished affirmative action. Yes. If you all remember.
Yes.
And the same merit-based that they speak about goes completely against, it revokes what Lyndon B. Johnson did, for the Equal Opportunity
Civil Rights Act, 1965.
Yeah, 65.
And now we're, like you said, now we're at DEI. So you have those four different categories of the basically some people the same thing, right? We're having the same argument over and over again. Now we're at the whole DEI argument, and anything that has anything to do with black, they consider that DEI, we have to get rid of it. It's the same conversation over and over and over again. It's just worded differently.
But here's what I want to urge you, gentlemen. Don't be distracted. This is all a distraction. All right. Yes, I'm upset about DEI. Okay. But that's not the rub. All right. What one president can do, another can put back in place. Now, true, has been in place since 1964. But the DEI is no different. And let's take it to its historical roots. It's the Willie Lynch letter of 1764. DEI is the new Willie Lynch letter. And what was the letter with George Bush, with Ronald Reagan ran when the guy got out of jail? The black guy got out of jail. Y'all know exactly what
name that letter.
It was a commercial. The black guy who got out of jail for the weekend and killed the person. You remember that back in the 80s? It was either Reagan under Bush.
That one I just don't remember, but go ahead.
But for those of you who are not familiar with the Willie Lynch letter, whether it's real or it's a hoax, the Willie Lynch letter is this letter when we were coming up in the 80s, 90s, that was allegedly purported to talk to a slave owner talking to other slave owners about how to control the slave population. All right. What they have done is use that theory of that letter to keep us divided. All right. If I keep them focused and divided and separated, if I can separate the poor farmer from the poor black man and turn them against each other, then they can't see what I'm taking from their pockets. Right. And I can pit them against each other. Now, you have the most powerful people in this world, concentrated power at the top. All right. You got the Zuckerbergs, you got the Amazon dude, Bezos, you got Trump,
the Google
guys. That is what needs to scare you. All right. We can talk about DEI all we want to. All right. But it is the concentration of power And they have FAFO enough of us to find out to keep us distracted and pitted against each other. We're fighting the guy who's making $15 at McDonald's, but meanwhile, Warren Buffett don't pay the same amount of taxes as that dude at McDonald's is making. Right? You got us not scrapping over scraps. You got me fighting over the peel off the apple and telling me that it's the other guy's fault for eating the apple. Right? Yeah. That is this. And so we're going to have to be watching for these dog whistles. All right. Do not get distracted. I bring up the Secretary of Defense because the Secretary of Defense job is to provide defense and keep us out of wars. The man whose own mama said he is not qualified and spends more time inebriated than he does sober is responsible for keeping us out of we got Russia rolling and showing aggression. You got Israel off the hook. We know the Middle East is a powder keg. It is a powder keg. It always has been. And the only thing that has been keeping it calm and steady is a steady hand at the thing. How long do you think people are going to tolerate if something happens, if this peace doesn't hold? Right. What do you think is going to happen in Saudi and Jordan?
Well,
and Iran.
Number one, that peace won't hold. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. From the looks up, and I've been watching it for a while, Israel keeps moving the goalpost.
But that's what they've always done.
And that's exactly why I know it won't hold.
But who's responsible for that right now?
What you mean?
The man who drinks the Sabbath wine religiously.
I like that.
The man who drinks the Sabbath wine religiously is responsible for keeping us out of that situation right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Here's what this man has done. And U.S. veterans and the veterans who voted for him. The man, now, before Biden left office, he preempted. Now, preempted. The fact that I got to be preempted, I have served this country with distinction. And I don't know what Miley's politics are, and I'm glad I don't. Because the man came out the day after they cleared the park and said, I, as the commander and joint chiefs of staff, should not have been present there. The military is not responsible. It makes it seem as if the military is at the behest of controlling the American citizens.
Millie or Mally, what? Miley. Okay.
Came out.
He had some morals. You got to understand. But right now, he's putting yes men and yes people in there.
But here's what the man who likes the Sabbath wine did, right? The fact that President Biden had to preempt this man of distinguishment, to preempt that, right? Yes. I have a problem with that, right? But two, Iran had threatened retaliation personally against Miley, right? For the first time, we had to assign security to protect the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Now, mind you, he's retired. What did the man who likes the holy wine do? Pull his security. Pulled his security.
As well as John Bolton, and there's another person.
Right. And you trying to tell me that retaliation isn't real? We went to war with the whole country because the man threatened his daddy. But you're going to pull his security? And to further add to the fuel. And this is the problem. If they're willing to do it to the greatest of among us, what do they care about me and you on this radio show? Right? Yeah. If not only that, but now he sought the inspector general after him and is trying to seek a way to reduce this man, 4-star general, to a lesser grade. Mm-hmm. If he's willing to do that to a hero of our nation, regardless of whatever that man said, and this is what good presidents do. I respect that man's right to criticize me, but I also respect him more for his willingness to stand up and lay his life on the line to defend his right to say that. Mm-hmm. Because that's who we are as a nation. But because he came out and said this man is the greatest threats to the danger of the Constitution I've ever seen, and that he is a fascist, now we're going to do all of this stuff to him. When he's retired? What kind of coward are you to do that?
Exactly.
You are a coward.
But okay, right now we see that how cowardness this man is and his little groupies that are behind him. All
Oh,
right, we see it. We see it.
and the
But
fact that they have to resort to violence.
But what do? Because all right, this is not going to get better through these 4 years.
But that's what I'm saying. We can't react to everything.
And this is what I'm saying. But what are we going to do to circle the wagons? All right, because I mean, if you look at the numbers, remember the numbers from the election. Okay, he was 70.
He only won by a point.
Yeah, I
He
know.
only won by a point.
But it was like 2 million people.
Okay, that's
in
the point.
total. But what I'm saying is, all right, there were 70 plus people who did not like this man, who does not like this man, who will not roll with this man for the most part. What are we going to do to circle the wagons and protect these people?
First of all, well, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead. I've been talking. Go ahead.
At this point, what worries me out of all of this is that we have to protect that other side from themselves. Okay, check this out. No, so check this out.
I want to hear this. Wait, hold on.
Yeah. I'm telling you, we do.
Come on.
The Democrats,
Come on, Snoop.
the people, everybody. we actually have to protect them from themselves, because at one point they're going to go so far that they're not going to be able to come back, and they might as well do everything they have to do. How can they come back if they start actively abusing the other side, the other 50% of the nation? How can you come back as a nation from that? You never will be able to come back.
I get
from
what
that.
you're saying.
Never be able to come back. I mean, as soon as they get out of office, the other side will definitely retaliate. And if they know that you're going to retaliate when they get out of office, why would you give it up?
Well, first of all, we entered this quagmire on January 6th. We just have effectively.
I know.
Merrick Garland, he outkicked his coverage on this one. There's no reason to God's green earth that the prosecution of this man did not happen. Right. There's no reason. We had 2 impeachment hearings, and you couldn't get through one. Yeah. One. You got through the weakest case of all. The weakest. When the government want to come for you, they coming for you. Bad boys. What you gonna? No name. Bad boys. Right. Yeah. So we knew this. All right.
But
look,
go ahead.
But to Rich's question, the first thing we have to do is commit ourselves peacefully to the end of the Trump presidency. All right. We cannot lose the core of who we are. Right. We can impede, we can stop, or whatever, but we all must be committed to the ending of his presidency. All right. 1, 2, regardless of whoever comes up with the idea, we got to agree not to tear them down, because we don't have heroes in this society anymore. We have heroes that only we find something. Martin Luther King could not be Martin Luther King this day, because we'd be too concentrated on how many people he was sleeping with. Yeah. How he gonna be talking about peace and he's sleeping with all them? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We have to be committed to that process, regardless of who came up with the process. I was somewhat joking, but halfway serious when I said what P. Diddy did that's worse than anybody else. Who's in his staff right now? That man read Bad Boy Empire from 89 till 224. Yeah. None of us heard about freaking parties until 2025, right? My man had baby oil. I still got baby oil from 1982. This man went through how much? Right? Yeah. So I have no problems. At least I know he can run money. Right? I know that. So regardless, we have to be willing to be hypocrites at this point. We got to follow the McConnell rule. We say one thing, but we do the other. We're not. No, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Wait a minute.
No.
You saying
the McConnell rule? That's called the hypocrite. Not the Hippocratic rule. It's the hypocrite rule.
I know where
not
you're
the Hippocratic.
Going.
Hypocritic means
where
that you do no harm. I'm talking about the hypocrite rule.
Going.
Yes, I'm gonna say one thing and do another.
Yeah, but see, how far is that gonna get us?
How far did it get McConnell? He got 3 justices.
Well,
he got 3.
We know what what they do is they circle
Uno, dos,
wagons
tres.
around each other. We don't
Well,
do that. We haven't done
That's why I
that,
just
and
said
that's the
rule
problem.
one. Rule one
But,
was we have to be
and I
committed.
agree. But why do we have to
Rule
go to the
two.
level that we're gonna
Rule
go to a
two.
point where we're gonna?
Yes.
Hey, I'm going to say one thing and do the other.
Yep.
Well, I don't want to mess with you either.
Hold on. Is the goal? What was rule one? The end of the Donald Trump presidency by peaceful resolution.
I get
rule two. Regardless of who comes up with the rule, we're not going to tear them down.
I'm cool with that.
McConnell's still in the Senate, right?
Wait, I'm cool with that.
Council.
I'm
McConnell
cool with that.
Is still in the Senate.
Yes,
is he not?
Yes. Agreed. But
rule three, we have to be committed to the hypocrite rule. I'm going to say one thing.
Number 3 is the problem, bro.
Why is that? See, here's the problem.
3 is the problem.
Here's the problem. But how did they get where they got? What? McConnell literally said, we will not put in a president, a justice before, the next election.
I agree.
What happened? Scalia,
yeah.
God rest his soul.
Yeah.
How long was Amy Barrett's stuff? 3 months? 2 weeks? Right?
Yeah.
Right?
That's about right. And then, I mean, don't get me wrong, Kavanaugh ain't no good either.
Well, at least Kavanaugh was elected before. You know what I'm saying? But Merrick Garland should not have been AG. He should have been on the bench.
I agree.
Right? So that's the hypocrite rule. I'm going to say one thing. See, you trying to govern by rules and laws and ordinance. No, sir. We're playing for the win.
I'm playing for the win.
No.
But what I'm saying,
they are playing checkers, and you trying to play chess.
Hey,
I'm jumping.
Look. Just like you said, if you got a plan and whatever you may have done before, but you got the right plan, hey, I'm game with getting behind it. My problem would be stick with your plan.
See, here's the problem. See, he rolled long enough to tear us down.
Hey, stick with your plan, bro.
Hypocrite rule.
No, hey, man.
The hypocrite.
But to your point, because I'm kind of agreeing with you on this, only for the simple fact that
come on,
we haven't. Okay, look, one of the reasons why we're here right now is because we haven't had the fortitude to call a spade a spade.
I agree.
Okay, we've been trying to reach across the aisle way too much. Okay, way too much to get them to be reasonable.
I agree.
And meanwhile, they're like, we're gonna do whatever we gotta take, whatever we gotta do to win. And the other side was like, well, we gotta be traditional.
No, I'm not even with the traditional,
and it doesn't work.
If it's something that you say,
and it doesn't work. And you can't. You're looking at
behind you 100%.
Right. But look at the Democrats. You can't. That's what I'm saying. You can't. Democrats do not have pundits like the Republican Party does. They do not. They run their ads. You got Sean Hannity, all these other people, Fox News. Right. They have more stations on Sirius XM that are right wing than they are Democratic.
They do.
We explain.
I agree with you.
We're not willing to push. We're not willing to come up with our alternative truths.
Yes. And to your point, look, not only do you have those pundits, they also know how to work. They also know how to work the social media aspect of it.
Here we go.
I know. Hey, I know that my constituents do not care about facts. They don't care about policy. All they care about is sound bites and what makes them feel good. That's it. That's all they care about.
Hallelujah.
That's all they care about.
Let me back this brother up since he's smoking flame.
Come on.
They want to end birthright citizenship. Every Democrat should be saying, "Oh, they want to make black people slaves again." Because they want to end the 14th Amendment.
I agree with you.
14th Amendment.
I agree with you 100%.
14th Amendment.
Yeah,
all of us should be saying, "Oh, they want slaves again."
Yeah,
that should be like, I'm not.
That should be
we
on.
All should be wearing shirts that
on the
I'm
front
not my
page.
granddaddy.
That should be everywhere.
I'm not my granddaddy.
100% on that, bro.
Every black we need, because look, I love Roland Martin. I like Roland Martin. He talks a lot. Right, he talks a lot. And some of it is so educationally dense.
But he speaks real.
He speaks. But it's behooved upon us here that watch that to try to take that and break it down into bits. So this morning he was talking about this DEI and things like that, but he was also talking about boycotting. And so like everybody's like, boycott this, boycott. To what end? Like you cannot boycott Coca-Cola because you don't know how much stuff Coca-Cola is in. Mm-hmm. Pepsi has so much. Pepsi has something on every menu.
I know.
Right? Target. what does that mean if you're on 70? Well, it used to be on 83rd and Dan Ryan when you're in a food desert. How do I tell those people to boycott Target? This is where they get their groceries from, right?
Yep.
So we had to come up with stuff, and what did Kelly, my girl, call it? Alternative facts.
Alternative facts.
Alternative facts.
Don't believe your lying eyes.
Right.
Don't
Right.
believe your lying
Oh,
eyes.
you want to end birthright citizenship? Let's see, who did birthright citizenship apply to? All four of us at this table.
Exactly.
Yep.
And all of us need to be printing shirts that say, I'm not my great granddaddy.
Exactly.
We should all have shirts on that say Rosewood and have a circle cross out through it. And people are like, well, what that mean? Oh, they trying to end birthright citizenship. They trying to end birthright citizenship.
Yep.
Who we gonna use as the anchor?
Exactly.
Right? If they're willing to do it to the Browns, you know it sure is a hit. They ain't gonna do it to the blacks. So DEI is just a distraction, right? That's a distraction. But when you're talking about ending birthright citizenship and prosecuting it through the courts, first of all, why? Right? I mean, I'm not a constitutionalist. I practice law, but I'm not a constitutionalist. But I do remember it took like 3/4 of the states to make an amendment or, to add an amendment or to revoke an amendment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not as I recall, when we had to take that 8th grade Constitution test, it wasn't that. I don't know if our president passed, allegedly. I don't know. All right. I don't know. He said, right.
Yeah.
Right. But
You won't let him out, though.
you want to end the 14th Amendment. Oh, okay. Let's just play this game out logically. So then what becomes the determination of who and what constitutes a citizen?
Whoever ICE thinks is a citizen.
Okay.
Right.
That's American, traditionally American, and they don't look like us.
Well, and that's the problem with the FAFO. You're dragging me along with you because I was trying to tell you this, but you're so interested. And what's the song? They not like us. They not like yeah. But you're trying to be so much like them. But when you get to the party and they find out, like, oh no. Thank you for your vote, but you can't come in.
Yep.
What was the party that happened on Sunday? That the crypto
ball.
Yeah, because they couldn't fit him in on the inauguration day.
Yeah.
We were so busy.
This is the black pageantry right here.
I don't know nothing about it, but you telling me it had to happen a week later? It couldn't happen Tuesday night? Couldn't happen Friday night?
Yep.
Friday night? Speaking of Friday night, this man laid off 17 inspector generals. Now, I don't know how many inspector generals there are, but when you start getting rid of the watchdogs and nobody says anything, it happens Friday night at 5 o'clock, but you got Dr. Phil out with the raids and his good-looking, what's her name? Secretary of Homeland Defense. I don't even know what her qualifications are, but, nobody he has put up, except for Marco Rubio, has passed the test. Well, maybe his AG, but she seems to be whatever. Anyway, but these distractions, so we got to be careful with the dog whistles.
Now, let me ask you this, though, as you were saying that, okay, yeah, there's a lot of distractions, there's a lot of sleight of hand or whatever you want to call it. But then now also, too, you see these things falling down, and thanks to Project 2025, but you see these things falling down. Are we supposed to sit quietly?
No, I gave you the 3 game plan. You had a problem with number 4.
I had a problem with number 3.
Number three. Right. Number 3.
Yeah.
I've told you what the thing is. We have to be committed to the peaceful transition and ending of the Trump presidency and breaking the power of this MAGA-ness. All right. Number 2, regardless of whoever comes up with the ideas, we have to be committed that he is committed to principle number 1, or she is committed to principle number 2, and regardless of their faults, moral failings, or whatever, we're going to be committed to that. All right. All right. Number 3, we have to be willing to follow the hypocrite rule. All right. We have to, because what you are suggesting is a gentleman's sport, boxing. No, sir. We're in an MMA fight.
Oh, we are in Dalton?
We are an MMA fight. No, but I'm serious. When you're in self-defense courses, you got 7 seconds if someone got a choke on you.
Yeah.
Right? You got 7 seconds. If someone's squeezing your carotid
artery.
thank you, carotid artery, you got 7 to 8 seconds before you pass out, right? And you're told to do whatever is necessary to break that hold, right? You do whatever is necessary.
That's true.
Yep.
I'm telling you, their thumb and 4 fingers is on my carotid artery, and I'm feeling.
It's getting dark.
It's getting dark.
Right.
My vision's starting to get blurry.
Right.
The problem is, think about this right now. At this very moment, a farm had to get rid of all of its chickens because of this aviary flu. We don't know how serious this is because now we have withdrawn from the World Health Organization. Now, this man handled the last pandemic so well, only 500,000 Americans died.
Yeah.
More than in the Civil War. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
How do you think he's going to handle the next crisis? Now, he won't, because he's going to handle the information of the next crisis.
Exactly.
Right? I can't handle the crisis, but I can handle the information of this crisis. This man had to, remember when bird flu, when we were coming up, there was always this scare that was going to make the jump from birds to humans. We have this thing that used to go around that we all had to get out of 4th grade for, called chicken pox. Guess where it started with?
Oh, yeah.
Chickens.
Exactly.
Hence the name chicken pox. Guess how humans got it? It made the jump from chickens to humans.
Exactly.
So when you talk about the rules you just set up, right? So here's my question to all 4 of you, to the 3 of you guys. So we're talking about, okay, we gotta play harder. We can't be reaching across the aisle trying to be nice with these people, right?
No, we play nice. We
play nice, but right. So how do we, now tell me if I got my numbers right here. So how do we try to activate the 15 million people that didn't give a crap and didn't vote? Or do we just leave them alone?
And
because there's a lot of people that didn't vote.
And we gotta make these answers quick, gentlemen, because we're running up against time. Go ahead, though.
Actually, no, that's my question.
Well,
we gotta go with the arm. You go to war with the army you got, not the one that you want. So my plan is we gotta get out of our despair and come up with a plan.
Don't worry about them.
We spent way too much time, and Kamala was counting on them, and we saw what happened. All right. So we go to army war with the army you got, not the one you want.
Go ahead, Tim.
I definitely like the idea of jumping ahead to the end. With the I'm not going to be a slave, because instead of us jumping on them for what they're doing, there's going to have them react to what we're doing. And then that would turn.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah. Because that's the end goal right there, right? You want second-class citizens again.
Right.
So I definitely agree with that tactic. That's a good one right there.
It's Black History Month. We all no Rosewood.
Right. Yeah. All of that.
No Black Wall Street. No Springfield riots. Not this time. Not now on this go around.
But
saying it now, right?
It's up to us to bring it out there. I don't wear the miles for nothing, bro. Anyhow,
that needs to be a shirt. Mile, not for nothing.
But no, to answer your question real quick, bro, I do believe that what we're seeing, what's about to happen, a lot of those, you said 15 million?
Yeah.
A lot of those 15 million, they're gonna wake up. They're gonna realize they screwed up. And it's going to change.
I hope so, man.
No, I mean,
I'm being a little negative here, man. I mean, we've been telling them for a while, and the thing about
sometimes
is that
somebody got to get smacked upside the head to do what they're supposed to do.
That's true, but how many years we've been doing this? And to his credit, he has not lied about what he was going to do. He's been the same way since day one. You know what I mean? And people still voted the way they voted or didn't vote.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
or voted against their self-interest.
Exactly.
They came for my neighbor and I did nothing. They came for my sister and I did nothing. They came for my brother. I did nothing. They came for my father. I did nothing. And they came for me and there was nobody to do nothing.
There you go. But hey, everybody, let's keep this conversation going. Make sure you hit us up through the email. That is the triplethreatopradio@gmail.com. Once again, that's the triplethreatopradio@gmail.com. Or you can put something on the Facebook Live under everything. We will answer all your questions and respond to you. All right. This is Elevated Vibes. You got Mr. Timothy Evans, Big E from the D, and the boss man Mike B. And I'm your boy Abdul Rashid. We will catch y'all next week. Peace.